Welcome to Medieval Kingdom Wars from Reverie World Studios. I'm Gordon Farrell, associate producer and lead writer. Let me introduce you to the inglorious 100 Years' War. Today, well, it's 1419, and England is making its big move to capture Paris. The English king is Henry V, and he holds the doddering old French king, Charles VI, as hostage. You can see Paris is a huge, meticulously recreated copy of the actual medieval city. Our goal is to recreate all the large towns of medieval Europe with this kind of detail. There's truly some breathtaking stuff here. That's worth defending, right? In history, the French heir apparent was Charles VII, and it took him quite a while to get any real military skills under his belt. You're Charles VII here, and you're getting ready to defend Paris, and you've already got your act together, because, well, unlike Charles, you've been playing these kinds of games for years, right? You know the English are coming, and you're getting ready to make them regret contaminating France with their tea and crumpets. The game involves fixed forces as well as base building. So first, let's get our existing garrison troops onto the walls and into the towers. As well as making the best of the existing garrison, we also need to build up the infrastructure of Paris and train new troops. To complicate things, though, the player needs to wrestle control of the city from the local gangs. Gangs were notorious in medieval cities, and the player has to bargain with or, well, otherwise deal with these petty criminals that control various districts of Paris. When directly controlling the city, as opposed to working from the world map, the combat infrastructure and micromanagement of the economy come into play. There are resources that have to be managed. Stone, iron, wood, and food are the basic ones, but there are 17 resources altogether which can fire up your economy or, in their absence, leave you with your own medieval version of the Great Recession. During siege, you have to get creative with your economy. Chop down park trees and decorative firs, take apart town housing and other buildings, hunt down alley rats and homeless dogs for food. Just keep in mind, you don't want to anger the populace too much by your actions. These ungrateful peasants have to live somewhere. Now the French player is taking care of some last-minute military preparations and recruiting as many troops as we can afford. It's a tricky thing to pull off because every soldier has to get paid, and that means raising taxes on your citizens. Every soldier has to be fed, and that's food you're taking away from your citizens. We just moved from the autumn into the winter of 1419-1420. And look at how your citizens are reacting in the lower right-hand corner. They're hungry, they're cold, they're pissed, and in a minute, they're going to be mad as hell and they're not going to take it anymore. They'll attack your livestock for food, riot, burn buildings, and even open the gates for the enemy when he shows up. So what do? Sure, we can feed them and donate some wood for heating, but there's always a more ruthless way. You want to have a revolution? I'll show you a revolution. Damn it, the peasants are revolting. Man, whoever said it was good to be king. Killing 100 or so of these free spirits should put your populace back under control to some extent. But then they'll pay fewer taxes, and right now we have to hold Paris at all costs. Now it's early spring, and here comes Henry V with his English army. The English set up their siege camp, and the French quickly get their outlying citizens behind the safety of the city walls. Let's leave the English a little surprise and lay oil pitch around the gates. The game unfolds in real time, whether you're getting ready to defend or opening a can of medieval whoop-ass on your neighbor. Other players, including AI players, might suddenly show up and add their 2 cents, or in this case their 2 sous, or 2... never mind. Okay, here we go.
You would be yours.
Light 'em up, boys.
You would be yours. Eagerly now.
Oh, boom. Damn, that hurt. The battle is basically a free-for-all, with siege towers, mantlets to protect your soldiers, trebuchets, battering rams. You've got your onslaught of archers, flaming arrows, you know, your basic medieval nightmare. Now we're looking at some of the gritty, blood-soaked combat you'll be experiencing. Those rampart walkways look mighty slippery. Clean up on aisle 5. And the desperate defenders dash to get a few more troops recruited. The English have broken through the walls. The defending player pulls back into the city. Now, instead of siege combat, it's hand-to-hand, building-to-building street fighting. Now is when you want the town populace on your side. The defenders are whipping together their street barricades. Les Miserables, anyone? And those barricades are formidable obstacles. Historically, the Burgundians showed up now to help the English. But has England been taking care of her diplomatic relations? The challenge is not to screw it up the way so many of the actual historical figures did. You get to rewrite European history, or if you're not careful, get yourself written out of European history. This is 100 years of war for you to get lost in.